Hey, it's Natalie, and welcome to the Hey Let's Collab podcast. This is a podcast about how successful creators grow through collaboration. Every episode, we unpack one specific partnership from the first pitch to the final result. This gives you the full blueprint on how to collaborate with confidence and grow your business through aligned connections. Ready to get started? You'll love this week's collaboration. So hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bardo and welcome to the Hey Let's Collab podcast. This is a podcast about real collaborations for online creators. Every episode, we unpack one specific partnership from pitch to the results so you can learn how to collaborate with confidence and grow your business through aligned connections. I am so excited to be here with the wonderful Liz Stapleton. Hey, Liz.
Hi. So excited.
I'm so excited you're here. We are, I would say, seasoned collaborators. We've worked together many times, which, some of which we'll talk about on today's episode. But first, allow me to introduce you formally to Liz Stapleton, who is a lawyer turned online business systems strategist and the founder of Creator Ops Hub. Since 2014, she's helped creators streamline their content, email marketing, and digital products using simple, scalable systems. Known for her clarity-first approach, Liz builds practical tools that help overwhelmed creators save time, reduce stress, and grow sustainably without hustle culture. Love it, girl. I can say that is so on point. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I always have a good time collaborating with you, so.
Thank you. I love that. So speaking of collaborating, I would love for you to share with us, what does collaboration mean to you? And what has it meant for your business or businesses?
So I think it's two-part, right? So I've actually primarily grown my business through collaborations. I haven't really done much with ads. I've been good with Pinterest in the past. As you know, I've fallen off that bandwagon, but I'm learning from you. I do better. But I've never been big on Instagram or social media, really. Pinterest is SEO, so I don't really consider it social. So I've primarily grown through collaborations, but I also love collaborating because our world's so weird, you're so lucky if you have someone that in person you can really chat about these things with. And so having those connections and getting to know other business owners who get what you're doing or what you're going through, or something's a struggle, or just, are willing to spitball these ideas that you're not going to find other places in terms of where else are you seeing bundles out in the real world besides, it's an online business thing. And you could just be like, hey, because I've collaborated a ton. I could reach out and be like, hey, I'm thinking of trying this as a collaboration. Do you want in? Would you be willing to contribute a little snippet? And you can kind of just brainstorm and try new things. And when you have collaborators, you're going to actually be able to tell if it's going to get results, because sometimes if it's just you promoting something, you're not going to obviously see as big of a reach or impact, even if you have a large audience. And so it gives you a better idea of data. But just really that personal connection of being able to reach out and be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I think so that is just, you can't find that really as an online business owner in your space. If you're lucky, you can. But for me, I live in a tiny town, so the first co-working space just opened up here, and I have yet to meet someone who does my business, kind of business there. So yeah,
I love that. I 100% agree. That has totally been also my own experience. I know that through collaborations, I can say that I feel like I've almost forged real friendships, right? And over the course of the years that I've known you, because it's been years, right? Where, you have a shared language with people who are not only also online creators, but who you've worked with. And I appreciate that. Off camera, we were, complaining or crying about our tech woes. And I feel like sometimes Mercury is retrograding when it shouldn't be. And things just don't want to work.
Yes.
So I love that. So my next question for you is, why do you do collaborations? And I know you have, sprinkled in a little bit. It's great for audience growth. It's great for amplification. Like recently, I ran a live boot camp, and I would say that my community of affiliates and partners, they doubled my audience size, right? So, is there any additional reasons why you do collaborations and why you would encourage listeners to seriously like start?
I think part of it for me is like an energy thing too. I'm a little introverted and I love more like
Mhm.
doing back end stuff. And so trying to show up on social like consistently is like I've not managed it, in a way that's effective. Whereas with a collaboration, like it's very kind of straightforward where you know what you're doing, both are going to promote and you're going to see some results, right? Like there's a little more stability to it in terms of outcome. Like you may not always get the conversion rate you want, you may not always see the sales you want, but something's going to happen, right? It's not going to be like you're posting and it's crickets. So
Yeah.
I think the more of the like stability of it helps in terms of business and mindset and energy. And so that's like kind of
Mhm.
another reason I think I always tend to gravitate towards them.
I love that. Also, like the sustainability of it. I feel like once you do a collaboration, you can easily like copy and paste that to
Build the
another
system.
collaboration. Yeah, you build a system that's repeatable. And, Liz has promoted my masterclass, for example, my Pinterest masterclass
Yep.
for my other business, your pin coach. And it is a system, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's the copy, the graphics, the landing page, the
Yeah.
class itself, the
Yeah. I
email
mean, it takes me
sequence.
30 minutes to set up a JV workshop with someone and
Yeah.
have everything to them. Like I've literally automated the I don't know what language you allow on this podcast, but I've automated it to like the degree of
Yeah.
like I pick a date and it will go create WordPress pages, it'll go create the tags and kit, it'll go draft the emails. Like it takes me like 30 minutes to set up a JV workshop. And that's obviously on my other site. We're not talking about that one today. But yeah, it becomes a system that you can really just crank out.
I love that. Slash, I need that system. We will talk about that off camera. Okay, I love that. So I want to know, what is the specific collaboration we're unpacking today? Lay the scene for us. Like, how did it come about? Like, give us all the backstory.
So I think we're going to talk about my Blogger Breakthrough Summit, which Blogger Breakthrough is what I ran. I rebranded to Creator Ops Hub in 2025. But the Blogger Breakthrough Summit ran for 6 years from 2020 to 2025. And it started, so I ran my first ever summit in 2018 and it was a fail. I broke even maybe. It was for my personal finance site. It was called Side Gig Summit. And I realized one of the reasons it didn't succeed is the sessions didn't build on each other. They just need to come for like one or two sessions that they wanted and they could bounce. And so when I wanted to do a summit again, because I was like, well, it was great. I got like 700 people opted in. I realized I wanted to make sure it was something that they could come back to and that kind of built on each other. And so I came up with the
Mhm.
idea of the Blogger Breakthrough Summit. And I'm insane. So I was like, yeah, we're going to do 50 speakers. But my idea was that I'd have a topic. So take Pinterest, for example, but I'd have a speaker cover at the beginner level of like, hey, this is what Pinterest is, at the intermediate level of like, hey, here's how you like get this workflow going. And at the advanced level of like, hey, if you want to outsource, this is the things you look for, and so you cover it at different levels and a different speaker for each. And that not only kind of meant it was something that could be useful for people for more than one session, but it
Yeah.
also allowed me to pitch my speakers in a way that I was like, hey, what's going to make this summit stand out from others is that we're really categorizing things by level. So we can target the audience you want to approach, right? Because, not every business owner is wanting to target beginner bloggers, right? They're wanting to target more intermediate or advanced. And so it helped kind of make that pitch a little bit better and stand out from other summit pitches, I think. And so I did that year over year for 6 years. I will say the last 2 years, it declined a bit. I think there are multiple reasons for that, not least of which was my alignment and what I wanted to be teaching. I don't think like it led to my pivot, right?
Yeah.
But like at its peak, it brought in, 40 grand and I had systemized it at that point. So yeah, that's, I think, kind of where that came from was wanting to build something that was a resource that people could come back to and would want to, and so purchase the paid pass. But then that also created that unique targeting approach for my speakers.
I love that because trust me when I say we get so many summit pitches, and I feel like they also come in like spurts. Like for some reason you'll get like 5 on one day or 5 in a week, and then you don't hear from anybody. So, if you can have that unique spin on, this collaboration idea, which is summits, which honestly, like, I think part of why I believe summits did have a bit of a dip recently is the oversaturation of summits and how it hasn't necessarily led to the improvement of summits. It's almost just led to the dilution of summits. Yeah. So if you are listening to this and you're like, okay, I want to try and run a summit, think about what is your unique spin? What is your unique offer? And I would even just add, and also get started early. The amount of invites I get where they're like, I'm hosting a summit next month. And I'm like, girl, my brain's already in summer. This month is done. Next month is done. Like,
yeah. I'm doing so normally the Blogger Breakthrough was in like January, and I would start pitching in September so that I could try to get everyone promotional materials at the beginning of December before they left for break, because promo would start like immediately in January. This summit I'm doing right now is the first week of March. And I know when we're recording this will be in the past, but I realized I hate this timing because then it's like trying to zero in on applications in like November, December, and like follow up with people to submit things in January. Like, it's been awful. I was like, we're not doing this timing again. Like, did not enjoy that. So you got to give yourself time. And even though I've run summits for, years, I've run multiple with thousands of attendees, I forgot to keep in mind that this was a brand new summit and I didn't have templates as much, and it took me so much longer, and I forgot, and I've been like working like a mad woman.
Yeah. Think of timing and give yourself time. And not just yourself, but your collaborators also need time, right? Like, I think like, especially if you're, if you guys listen to the episode where we were talking with Liz Wilcox about reaching out to people who are maybe slightly have bigger audiences than you, they're a little bit of a level above, you need to realize that those people have their schedules planned out. They know already what they're promoting probably for the next 6 months, if not further. So you need to give them time to find the space, especially, there's like promotional requirements. And I'll be real, if anyone's like, you got to send 3 emails, I'm like, I'm out. Because I already know my audience gets annoyed after 2. I'm like, I know their limits. So
I did for a long time. My promotional requirement was like, I trust your audience best. Promote to the extent that makes sense to your audience. In the last couple years, because things have been so diluted and sometimes people just wouldn't promote, which is just not fair, I have required like a solo email, but like 1 and like 2 social posts. Like nothing crazy, but that they have to do something. And I just real quick kind of want to step back for a second. We talk about, think about when you're pitching, but pitching isn't when the collaboration starts. You have to prep for that pitch. You need to be able to answer their questions quickly. So like when I said I started pitching speakers in September, I probably started working on like speaker info page and everything in like July and August, because you have other projects going on and it's not as urgent at that point, So really it's like 6 months ahead of time is when I'm starting to dive in. Okay, well, when are my deadlines going to be? And like, so you have all that information.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Even I'm letting you guys in on my brain processing right now. So right now, the podcast, it's new. We're just launching. Honestly, we haven't even launched yet. We're just recording right now. And my brain is already like, I got an idea for like a live boot camp, or maybe it's a summit with others. And it's not going to be for months, but I know I need to start sending emails now. So like, even if I don't have everything prepared, I want to be like, hey, I have this idea. This is the month I'm thinking about. Are you available? Can you just like black it out for me? Like, just be available. Yeah. But granted, I'm coming from a place where I'm not reaching out to strangers. everyone I'm reaching out, and I'm going to reach out to you, Liz, about this, I know.
Yes.
And so
Please do.
I think there's also that level of trust.
Yeah.
We've talked about on this podcast, trust with your community. You also build trust with your collaborators. When you deliver for your collaborator, you are building so much trust with them. Like anytime Liz reaches out to me, granted I have space and I know I need to book something. Don't worry. I haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
I know it's an easy yes because I trust you. Girl, you could say, hey, let's collaborate on like pitching people going to Mars. And I'd be like, girl, let's go.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the thing too, but I'll pitch it.
When you've done a lot of collaborations, if someone drops out, you have like this like bank of people that you're like, hey, I had someone drop out. Could you squeeze it in? You can use a session you've done before. Like, you know, you have those things. I actually had people dropping out of my panels like left and right. And I was like, what the heck? I clearly should have set the calendar notice sooner, even though I already told you you'd be on this and you should have blacked it out. But so I like reached out to my mastermind. I was like, hey guys, my panel is dropping like flies. Can any of you fill? And done, you know? So those last minute things are really helpful too because stuff happens. And sometimes you just have to go with it and your panel's a little less full. But other times when you have the, like, you know, the years of collaboration, it's like, I know it's going to be good. I had a speaker for this summit who was going through it. Like, I'm not going to get into details. That's her personal ish. But I just got, like, sessions were due a month ago and I just got it 2 days ago. But I knew it was going to be solid because I've worked with her before and I know she always produces great stuff. So, you know, I was like, I'll be flexible.
I feel like I'm always the one who's like, can I have more time? That's always me. I'm always like, because I feel like sessions are always due on a Friday and I'm like, girl, I need the weekend. I'm just always like, give me like 3 more days to get it through.
And usually that's fine. You know, when it's going a month later, you know, there were definitely extenuating circumstances. And I told them repeatedly, I was like, hey, if you need to drop, I understand. Or if you just want to do the live panel so you don't have to record something, that's fine too. I was like, I gave them all the options. But it helped, you know, that they're a friend and I've worked with them for years, you know, so it was much easier to give them that leeway because I knew when they got to it, it'd be great.
Yeah, I love you mentioning this because even Eden Fried, who's runs incredible summits, like almost every summit she reaches out to me and she's like, I need a Pinterest person, can you just drop a session for me? And I'm like, girl, you got it. Like that's it. It's like a one sentence exchange. So just know, if you're listening and you're just getting started with collaborations, get started, keep going, and it gets easier because you become people's go-to person. And, you know, you're in their Rolodex and they'll reach out to you. Okay, so we'll stop dancing around it and teasing it. Let's get into what this actual collab script is. So Liz, like, are you down to read it to us?
Sure.
Let's hear. We don't have to read the whole thing. You want to just read like what's little
Let me
bits
kind
of
of break down the parts of it and how it kind of is set up. So I'm going to focus on the new speaker pitch because I have a similar for like previous speakers to invite them back. Right. But a new speaker pitch. So I always start with a personal message intro, like, and you can see in what I provided, it's a placeholder. And what I try to do there is I go, you know, and I don't spend a lot of time on it, but if I'm on their email list, I'd be like, what have they done lately? So I can mention it and be like, hey, I hope that launch went well. Or, hey, I saw this is going on. Just that personal touch. That means like you aren't just cold spamming everybody, that this email is really meant for them. The rest is a template, right? But that little bit, and it's not hard to do, can go a long way to making it stand out. And then, so I'm like, hey, first name, personal message, whatever that is. You know, for Natalie, I might be like, I'm super jealous you did puppy yoga. I hope you're having a great day. You like, you know, like something like that. It doesn't even have to be business related. It just shows that you've paid attention. You know, I'm reaching out today because from these dates, I'll be hosting, in this case, it was the 6th annual Blogger Breakthrough Summit, and I'm looking to feature 50 plus speakers to share their expertise and personal stories. And then I talk about the background of the summit of what it's designed to do. There's a little section on like, hey, you know, we're trying to help our attendees do this. But then I flip it back to them. And I'm like, because of your success and expertise with whatever topic, I thought you'd be a great fit to speak. And then I have that section that says, hey, what makes the summit a bit different from other summits is we break out sessions by level of blogger. So some sessions are geared towards beginners, others towards intermediate or advanced bloggers. Because of this, we can work together to figure out which target audience would best benefit you and your business. So you're really focusing on how this helps them. And then if you're interested in speaking, here's how the process works, and it's bullet points. And I know you're going to share this on wherever.
Yeah. So remember, when you guys are listening, you can head to the site. Hey, let's collab. Sign up for the collab scripts. All of the scripts from our podcast episodes, speakers, or guests are going to be available to you. So you can remix them for your own purposes. It's great.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and I'll read the bullets because I think clearly spelling out what speakers or potential speakers can expect is hugely important. So first bullet is, if you're in, you can complete the speaker onboarding form here. The form is at the bottom of the page. Like I tell them, like, 'cause it's going to be on a speaker info page with even more details. And then I say, when filling out your speaker form, you'll be letting me know your preference for your presentation, whether you want to do an interview or pre-recorded, if you're targeting beginner bloggers, that sort of thing. And from there, you'll be able to pick a time on my calendar if necessary. You'll get access to emails and swipe copy that you can send to your audience to promote your session and the summit, including graphics featuring you specifically. And then the last bullet point is, I'll handle the rest. You get exposure from the audiences of 50 plus speakers at the summit and to pitch your offer to those who watch your session. How does this sound? If you're in, simply submit your speaker information here and we can get the ball rolling. Let me know what you think or if you have any questions. You know, best me. PS, if you want some more information, here's the speaker info page. And then when you've done this a while, or even if it's your first time, but you've already gotten some yeses, you can add the section that says, hey, some of our previous speakers or some speakers who are already, you know, included are, you know, for this one, I was like, Liz Wilcox, Leanne Scott, Jim Warren Carter was a previous speaker, Jeff Coynes, who's an author, CZ, like I have had some really fantastic speakers over the years for the summit. So being able to do a little name drop is, you know, because it just adds to the legitimacy. But even if it's your first time, maybe don't go after your reach speakers first. Get some other yeses, and you can say, these are speakers that have already agreed, you know. And then, you know, PPS, if you know anyone who might be interested in speaking, I'd love for you to share the speaker info page with them. So, yeah.
I love that. And to everyone who's listening, if you're like, okay, I don't have, you know, like a speaker information page, like, know that that's not always required. Like, if you're just getting, like, try to think of, like, I think we think of, like, collaborations as being super complex. And yes, there are a lot of steps, whatever. But if you peel it back, you're just reaching out. You don't need to have a speaker page. That's something you can build.
A summit's a big collab to start with, though.
Yeah, like summit's a baby collab. Know, like, that's you literally jumping off a cliff and there's rocks at the bottom and you're making sure you hit the water and not like belly flop and hurt yourself. Like that's the collab.
That's a big collab. Like my JV workshop one, I just created the like JV info page after doing, I don't even know how many last year. So like, I
don't even have one of those. And I think I've done so many. I just like send the email. I'm like, can I serve your, I think I always say like, I feel like your audience would be, you know, this would serve your audience. It would help them to grow their subscribers and their sales.
I'm curious, do you survey the people you collaborate with after the fact? Because I do, both for JV and for summits. And so then I have like their feedback and testimonials. So that's what my JV workshop page has now is like, hey, did you want to provide a testimonial on your experience collaborating with me? So especially for people I haven't connected with before, I think it's helpful.
I love that. So. I need to ask that. Okay, I'm taking notes. I hope you all are taking notes as well. You know, I think also when we're talking about like name dropping, something else you could swap in if the collaborator doesn't know you, you could say like, I've been featured in so-and-so. You could also talk about your audience size. Like maybe you do have a large audience on, say, one platform, for example, like that's something you can sprinkle in. We're expecting a reach of whatever, you know, like there's
I don't always love that because sometimes you have audience overlap and that's never like a solid number to really, like you never know of that one. So I don't love using that, but it's certainly a pitch point.
Yeah, it's just like if they don't have the other Like I think sometimes you want to like bulk it up a little.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And
Use
that's
what you got.
especially if you're new, you pull out whatever card you got, like it can be that this event is unique in this way. It could be that I have these speakers already, or I have this sponsor, or I've been featured here, or you just play the hand you
Mhm.
have, and everyone has something, so like even if it's just your expertise, right? Like I've coached this many clients, or
Mhm.
whatever it is, to make it unique. So yeah, I love this. And once again, remember, you guys, grab those collab scripts on the site if you want to like look at Liz's emails,
Yeah.
just to learn from it. Like even I love I save the collaboration emails that I think are good,
Yeah.
which brings me to my next question: is if someone's reaching out to you, what's a green flag? What's an easy yes? Like you see either in their email or it's the certain collaboration. Like what makes you want to say yes?
There needs to be a link in there. No, even if it's not like to a speaker information page, if all you have is the email, but I need to be able to see your website.
Mm.
I've had pitches where I'm like, the link they provide is a 404, and I was like, okay, you don't have it together. Like that's an easy no. I mean,
You
it's easier
don't
for me to
have
identify
it
red flags.
together.
Yeah, like I mean, a lot of times I'd say I actually don't get pitched that much by people I don't already know. And when I do, a lot of times it's a no, just because I'm like, you're not giving me enough information. I have no idea who you are. You've not provided me a link to even your website, or the link you're providing doesn't even work. So a lot of times I'll still take the extra step and I'll go, okay, what's their email, right? Because if their email is domain based, then I can look it in there. But I was like, you're not even telling me who you are. Like, I don't even know what your website name is. Put it in your signature. It's not hard. Like,
So it's funny
so
that you're like, I want a link and I love a link, but I'm so paranoid about links that I won't even click on the link. I will open Google
I'll
and
Google them.
type
Yeah.
in your name. I don't click on any links because
Fair.
I'm like, I don't know where people are sending me. So
Yeah.
that's the
That's true.
paranoid
I don't really, I
security
don't know.
lady in me. Unless I know you. If I know you,
Yeah.
like Liz Stapleton sends me a link, I will click on it. But if a random
Yeah. No, that's
stranger,
true.
I'm like, who are you?
I don't know. I have a Mac though, so like you don't tend to deal with like downloading
Girl, there are
stuff.
viruses. Get you some.
I know. I probably should be more careful, but I will Google, right? Like if even
Yeah.
if I have a link, I won't necessarily click on it until I Google. You're right. I didn't think about, but I do that. But if I can't find you in Google, or it's not like, yeah, you've got to tell me who you are. Like I need to know that.
Hmm.
Like yes, focus on how it's beneficial for me, but I'm not going to believe it's beneficial for me if I can't figure out who you are. And like what exactly you're expecting in terms of this collaboration. So I actually very mistakenly years ago agreed to be in a summit, and I don't know how, I just like glossed over because I was like, oh, of course I'm going to have an affiliate link and I'll earn commissions. And I had an affiliate link, but there were no commissions associated with it. And I was like, oh, so I just promoted your ish and I got literally nothing
Girl,
out of
that
this.
just happened to me last year, and I
Like I
was
just assumed, but I was like, how did I miss that? Yeah.
yeah, I ask now because I've
Yes.
been burned. And
Yep.
since we're, like talking about summits, like those are important questions for you to ask if you get invited, and important for you to know that your experienced speakers want to know that their link is an affiliate link. And that means like whether or not your summit has an upsell and an offer at the end. And if it doesn't, then I question why you're having a summit, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yep.
And because people might buy down the line,
Mhm.
like, and I think it's just, I don't know what the word is, like stingy.
It felt a little sketch to me.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Like after the fact, I was like, wait a second, I sent a lot of people your way. Like this feels sketch. And then they had used me the next year they ran it as like, here's our previous speakers. And I was like, can you take me down? I don't really want to be associated with you.
Another like issue I had, since we're talking about summits, was that
Yes.
my presentation did not have a link. So I promoted your summit. I sent people to your event, and with my presentation, there was no link to my freebie. I was not
Yes.
able
Oh my
to provide
gosh.
a freebie, and I was like, the
So that is something Oh my gosh. So this is, I think, something a lot of summit hosts get wrong. And why they don't have speakers wanting to return is they are not promoting their speaker. Um, you know me, I have that CTA freaking everywhere. It is on your page. It is with your speaker page info. It is in the swag bag. It is, like I am trying to push people to that because that's where the benefit is for you. And a lot of speakers or a lot of summit hosts just don't really think of that. But it is that's something I've actually discussed with some other summit hosts. We're like, what are you doing? Like, of course no one wants to come back. They didn't get anything out of it. And when you have people wanting to come back and collaborate with you again, it makes your life so much easier. So you have to deliver, not just for your attendees, but for your speakers. And so I spend a lot of time building out the summit portal to make sure everything is showcased as much as I can. And then actually something I'm doing this year is because every February, again, we're recording this, I know it's coming out in summer. But every February I do Freebie February, where I send a free tool or resource every day. And I've reserved the last week of February, which is the week before my summit, to promote speaker CTAs based on a registration contest. Right. And that's just for my speakers. And that's just to get them extra attention to their call to action, because why wouldn't I want to promote that? So yeah, no, a lot of summit hosts forget that they need to return the favor. The speaker is giving you content and you need to then promote them. I think a lot
of exchange of energy.
Yes,
it should be an even exchange. It should feel good for both people.
But I think
right?
a mistake summit hosts make is that they get the session and they're done. But in reality, you're promoting their stuff. But then, and I know this is not something everyone does, and I'm extra, but that's just who I am. I think you know that by now. Is I always send out.
I'm a little extra too. We like to be extra.
I always send out information after the fact.
Yeah.
Right. So I send out, hey, this is how many views your video got. This is how many people were on the page, to the extent that I can. Right. Obviously, Google Analytics, if they don't accept cookies, it's not perfect, but it then gives you a better idea of, okay, how well did that freebie convert? Because there were this many people, and how many people actually went and signed up for me. Right. It just gives you that data, and it also tells you how much quote exposure you got at the summit. Right. So I send stats of that I can of hey, and if I happen to have it here's how many times your link was clicked or whatever, which I don't think I set up properly this year, but we're gonna ignore that. But I'll tell you this is how many people viewed it, this is how many the Vimeo stats from it of where people dropped off or whatever, the average view time, and along with a survey, so that I'm rolling that collaboration into momentum and I can do better next time, and I have those testimonials. But then you're also getting more information that's going to help you make better decisions.
I love that. So talking about rolling into the future, what tangible results did you get from, this specific collaboration we're talking about? So summits. So talk to me about obviously we're in the past when this comes out, but for your last, whichever one of your summits you want to talk about, tell us about average subscriber growth, sales. Let's make it tangible, because I know the summit is a big undertaking. So, let's give people some insight on what could happen for them.
Sure. Now, obviously, the event I'm doing is brand new, so I really don't even have historical data to share with you for the Creator Workflow Summit that's happening in March 2026. But let me pull up my event data for past summits that I've run, and I can tell you. And I'm actually really bad, so I'll know how many people registered in total, but I'm really bad about knowing how many were new to my list. I'm not great at that, I'll be honest. But, okay, so in 2020, we had just under 3,000 registrants and it generated about $13,000 in revenue, in All Access Pass sales. It was a brand new summit. It had a 7% conversion rate from, registrants to sales. In 2021, I had just under 4,000. It was 3,980. And we had made 300 sales. So we had an 8% conversion rate, and it brought in 20 grand in revenue, approximately. Yeah. 2022, again, it's crazy because 2021, 2022 almost had the exact same amount of registrants. It was 3,900. The conversion rate dipped to 6, but it still brought in about 20 grand, $300. 2023, like I said, was the peak. We had just over 5,000 registrants. We had an 8% conversion rate and it brought in $41,000. And that's just in like summit revenue. That's not in like later product sales. That's not in, that's just like all access pass, VIP, whatever, the passes I called it that year. So that's kind of the tangible. It's a revenue driver, it's audience growth, it's connection with other people. Like it exponentially like can do so many things for you, but you have to keep in mind the more speakers you have, the more work you have exponentially, because each speaker requires, 100 different things or whatever, right? So just keeping that in mind in terms of your capacity.
For sure. I love that. And you don't need to start with a 50 speaker summit like Liz did and like I did. I think my first one, I was like, I'm gonna have 50 people, and I did, and I was like, wow, maybe we could have a little less.
Well, I think that's how summits have evolved as well, because like you said, like the dilution, I think the idea, if you see a summit with 50 speakers, it's like just overwhelming. You're like, I'm not going to have time for that. So I think almost having fewer now is better if it's more focused. And I think that's just kind of how we've seen summits evolve. So this one actually I still end up with like 35, but I've really kind of made it a very cohesive event in terms of what's covered. So
I love that. Okay, my next question is, for yourself, were there any summit mistakes you made, or even just collaboration mistakes? I know you mentioned that one. Does anything else, like scream in your mind, like, girl, don't do that again?
using Google Sheets to try to manage everything. I don't do that now. I have a very built out systemized Airtable with a lot of automations. I would also say, one mistake that really sucked is if I didn't get my custom commission set before sales open, having to go back and manually do it for each person. Now, so I use Thrivecart, which I think you use as well. And I think going in and setting custom commissions for that,
it's a pain.
Sucks. But
and then having to go back and reset them to your standard rate after the live event is over also sucks.
I actually never do that because it's only ever set for the specific products.
Okay.
So I never worry about it because the rest of the products are still the standard. So I never do that. But I now have in my Airtable automation, I was able to build a script that does it for me. So it sets all the custom commissions. It takes like 10 minutes and all my speakers have their custom commissions set for all the products. Because, there's like 6 different versions of a product because you have the early bird price and the like regular price and the tripwire price. So it's like 7 different products that the custom commission has to be set on. So automating that is like, whew. But even if you can't automate, get all that set before sales start because it sucks to go back. And then I'd say the other mistake a lot of people make is not reading the contract and noting like when coupon codes need to be good through. Like that's something that always drives me crazy.
Okay, you heard it here. So my other question for you is, what types of collaborations are you open to? So if someone's listening to this episode and they're like, ooh, Liz is fun, I want to collaborate, I want to pitch her, what type of collaborations are you open to?
I'm a talker. So like, you want me on your podcast? You want me on like YouTube? We can do something. You want me in your summit? Like, I'm down. I have, obviously I host things, so I'm always looking for more people. On my other website, elizabethstapleton.com, where I teach on the legal side of running an online business, I do JV workshops. I've got a whole JV info page. So like, I love collaborating because I struggle to show up regularly on social. So collaborating is my go-to. Just reach out. I'm definitely always open to different ideas and trying new things.
I love that. And what special gift do you have for us that they should go click over to, go to the show notes or go to your site?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily collab specific. I should come up with something because that's
totally fine. It doesn't have to be.
But I think I just did my like 15-minute content workflow, and it just helps you map out a system for that. But if you just go to Creator Ops Hub /everything, that's there along with a lot of other goodies.
Love it. So thank you so much, Liz. This has been wonderful. I hope that everyone who's listening is like, okay, summits, I am, interested. I would say like, maybe not your first collaboration. It's once again, like jumping off a cliff, but you could wade into the water by being a speaker at someone else's summit. I think that is the best way to start because you see how it runs. You get a peek on the inside and you have that experience so that maybe you can soon run your own events. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's a little bit of advice for y'all when it comes to summits. Great time, great for list growth, great for, showing up in different places, because I'm like you, Liz. I'm not an Instagram girly. I'm a Pinterest girly. I'm a I'm a collaboration girl through and through. So
Same.
love it. Thank you so much, Liz. This has been incredible. So remember, you want to head over to heyletscollab.com to grab your collab scripts. You'll be able to see Liz Stapleton's emails there, as well as our other guests. Check out the show notes. Go say hi to Liz Stapleton. She's incredible. I highly recommend. So thanks, everyone. Get going with those collaborations. Yay! Thanks for tuning in to Hey Let's Collab. If you're looking to kickstart your collaboration game and land that dream partnership, check out heyletscollab.com and download the free collab scripts to get started.